Yeah, yeah. If you watch it and enjoy it, then it's so much better for your English and for everything else. Okay, Luda, will you please introduce yourself?
Yeah, okay. My name is Luda. I'm an English teacher. So I've been teaching English for quite a while, but I'm always happy to have a possibility to talk to different people. So in English, and it's a pleasure for me to join your club and be here and
Thank
support
you so
my
much.
friend and my colleague Tanya. Here and just look like Peep how she's doing this. So how she's being a presenter
Uh-huh. Okay,
of
okay.
this
So,
club.
Luda, what is your favorite genre of movies? Do you like watching movies?
So I can't say that I'm really into movies because nowadays I'm too busy to watch movies often. But once in a while, we watch a series with my husband. I prefer fantasy and science fiction mostly. But romantic comedies were fine too. And we watched the film about Mrs. Doubtfire together with my husband a couple of days ago. And he really enjoyed it too.
Okay, okay, great. I don't know, Natasha, will you introduce yourself again? Luda knows you, but the other girls probably don't know you.
Mm-hmm. So I've got a diploma of teacher of English. Uh, Actually, I joined your club just to have my English improved, maybe my speaking skills, because I don't use it often, and um, actually, now I'm motivated to watch. I once I used to watch English films with subtitles, but I didn't have motivation. Now I have it because then I will just communicate with the others and to discuss this film. That's why I'm
Okay,
here.
thank you so much. Um, so you probably got the questions that I sent to everyone. So I'm going to
Mm-hmm.
share them for a little bit. I'm going to give you a link to in the chat here. Just a second. Let me know if you got it. Uh, do you have the link? And does it open?
Yeah.
Does it work? Let me know. Okay.
Actually, what
You
link?
can't
What
use
kind of
it because
link?
you are using the phone, yes? So probably it's
Yes.
not the best.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh. So I'm going to read the question, and if there is any difficulty, I'm going to share my screen like I did last class. Today, I'm not using a presentation mode like I did before. I'm using a different kind of software, so we'll see how it works. Okay. Somebody disappeared. Ah, Luda. Okay. So the first question is is Mrs. Doubtfire a good comedy or not a good comedy? And what makes it a good comedy or not? Okay, so you can speak in any, like you can choose when to speak. It's totally up to you. Okay,
I
let's
guess
start with
Mrs. Doubtfire is a wonderful comedy. So why? Because it's funny and it stars really great actors. And in addition to being funny, it also promotes some positive attitude to people. It creates a nice, friendly, romantic family atmosphere. So in general, it's a great film, but I wouldn't say that it was extremely funny for me. So, but it left a very nice and positive impression.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, uh, girls, the other girls, what do you think?
I think it's a good comedy. I think it's an unusual comedy because I tried to remember similar films.
Mhm.
I don't, I don't remember.
Mhm. You don't know any similar films, right?
Maybe.
Uh-huh. Okay, because I had some ideas, but of course, if you haven't seen those films, then you wouldn't know them. That's totally fine. Was it funny for you, or was it okay, so?
Mm. funny.
It was funny. Okay, because for me it was also very funny. Hi Igor. Even when I watched the trailer for the third or fifth time, I still laugh at it. So for me, it's funny. Olesya, what do you think about this movie? Is it a good comedy?
I agree with girls. For me, it's a good comedy, and I think that every good films and also a comedy should have a good plot and a good actors playing. In this film, we have a good plot and excellent actors playing, and these things each other. Things is connect with each other because without a good actors playing, we will not have a good film. Even the plot will be excellent and vice versa.
So basically, you say that the story or the plot is important, and I totally agree because even if it's funny but there is no story, then it's like, okay, what was it about? Like just several jokes, and then yes, acting. It's like actors play. Yes, acting should also be believable, right? When you sort of like, ah, cool, or so when you believe in what is happening. So very good points. Thank you, Alessia. Anybody else wants to add anything about this story? So was it? Did it have a good story? Did it have good humor? Was acting great here?
Well, I believe the actors were very great, but I wanted to add about the whether it is a good comedy or not. I believe this is a comedy with some elements of how to say melodrama. Is it
I
Melodrama.
would just say melodrama or drama. Yes, it actually
melodrama?
is second.
Some
It's much
yes, it's not maybe a comedy in its sense as it is, but this because the topic of this comedy is just connected with divorce, and sometimes very serious things are being discussed. So as far as I know, this film got Oscar for this effect when he changed into the woman. How to say it in English?
I didn't catch everything. I'm sorry. My sound is bad.
Um,
So it was
if I'm
about
not
like makeup for excellent makeup.
makeup, yes. If I'm not mistaken, they got Oscar for this makeup when the main actor changed into the woman.
Makeup artist,
So
yes, they got the Oscar. Yeah.
yes.
Well, not special effects because special effects is something a little bit different. But here, I think makeup artist got an Oscar for this movie. Yeah. Sorry. Sometimes I have these problems with the sound when it's choppy, when you can't hear everything. So if you can help each other, please do, because maybe I can't do it always. Very good points. Thank you. Igor, anything else to add here?
Uh, Hi, girls. In this morning, I'm sorry for my late. I try to. Okay, it doesn't matter. I watched this film and it was the second one which I watched in English, whole film in English, and as usual, I finished only a few hours before. But I thought that it's not interesting because I watched it many times before, and I think that I know everything. But when you watched it in English, and I first try to Google to rent a film, not watched it like I did it every time when I use some video sites, but I websites. But in this case, I try to use Google Play and buy for 21 hryvnias to rent these films, and I watched it in good sounds, in good picture, in English, and I fixed some interesting moments, and I love. I love. Сміявся тільки в минулому.
Laughed, yes.
I
Oh, I was laughing.
I laughed all night. You know, I think that if you watched the film many times, what moments you can making laughing. But when I tried to watch it in English, and many interesting phrases, many interesting intonations of actors, and it was really fun. And thank you for Tanya for this film, because the last meeting I think that it will not maybe interesting, because for myself, because I watched it many times, but when you try to see it in English, it's a new feeling. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? No? Then we can move on to the next question. And the next question is, do you remember how Mrs.Doubtfire appeared? I mean, the name. What is the title of the movie? How it started? Why Mrs.Doubtfire, not Mrs. I don't know, Bellwether or something? So what is the story behind this title? Who can explain it, or who wants to comment on this story? Olesya, Luda, Igor, Natasha, anybody?
It was done at random. He was having a telephone conversation, and then there was a newspaper near him, and he needed a name, and he saw the title of a newspaper article.
Igor, you in the comments under the announcement, you translated it somehow. I don't remember exactly now. How did you translate it?
Actually, I noticed that some English words consist in two or more different words, and it can make sense for understand English, I don't know, philosophy or interesting phrases. And this, I don't know the story about newspaper, about random that he called, and he tried to imagine this her name. But I have an idea that if you write this word, this surname Doubtfire, я подумав, що це буде горіть сумніви, типа, і все буде окей.
Горіть вогні, да? Something like that? Okay, so even before...
I understood it a bit different way. I understood it that it's doubt here is a verb and fire is a noun. Like doubt, fire, it means like fire is a negative thing, and a divorce is a negative thing too. But you should doubt whether it is a good or bad thing, because sometimes really negative situations in our life turn for the better. So if you have like a piece of some sort of shit in your life, it doesn't mean that it won't get better for you. So you should doubt that it is really bad. It can turn into something really great. So, and I think in this film, so it was like this because those two people, they grew up. This divorce helped them to understand each other, to hear each other, to pay more attention to each other. And they grew as personalities as a result. And I'm sure their future, even together, will be wonderful. Just they need some time.
Cool takeaway. Cool. Okay, I haven't even thought about the name and this idea. Okay, makes sense. You girls, anything? Alessa, did you notice how he came up with this idea? This newspaper headline. Did you watch it in Russian or in Ukrainian or in English?
Maybe doubt and fire. It's like вогонь сумнівів, yes? And when this man become a woman, maybe he doubts, if he would a good woman, or his family learned about that his husband or his dad might be like this.
Okay.
Okay.
How many persons, so many ideas of.
So yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
If you
That's
don't
what's
mind,
great about movies, yes, because we can interpret it according to our life experience. Yes, everyone says something that's close to your heart. Yes, but it's so what Olesa said gave me an interesting thought. Really, when the main character turned into a woman, like dressed as a woman, it helped him to understand the woman better. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, because before that he was playing like a child. He was like another child in the family.
uh-huh, uh-huh,
Yes.
uh-huh.
Mhm.
Exactly. So if you don't mind, I can show you a little piece of dialect from the movie, how he came up with the name. We can do it quickly if you don't mind. Do you want to?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm going to share my screen for a while. Tab and this one. Okay. Can you see the screen?
Yeah.
Yes.
Uh-huh. So it was a phone conversation, and Miranda was asking, the wife was asking, "Could you tell me your name?" And Daniel didn't, of course, he didn't think about that before. So I thought I gave it to you, dear. Я думала, что я вже сказала. She said no, and then he looks at the newspaper headline, and the headline reads, "Police doubt fire was accidental." Поліція сумнівається, що пожежа була випадковою. So he sees these two words together, and he comes up with his surname. That's how it happened. So Mrs. Doubtfire. Okay, I'm stopping.
Yeah, but actually the whole sentence is like police doubt fire was accidental. It sounds very philosophical. Yeah, like maybe it was the hint of nature, so the hint of the universe that he actually caused this fire. It wasn't accidental. Yeah.
That's too deep for me, but I mean, it's a possibility. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so some of you mentioned that it's not just a comedy because it has the elements of real drama because of the divorce. So my next question is, what issues in the Hillard family led to this divorce? So some of you said something about him being as a child. Maybe you can expand a little bit about that. Anybody? Luda? Why do you think they were divorcing? Or did they divorce?
So I think they were very different people. So when they met, she was attracted by his humor, by his light attitude towards life, because she was very methodical and systematic, and he was absolutely different. And so it attracted her, and she was attractive for him too, because she was extremely beautiful. But later in life, it was difficult for this woman to take care of him and to take care of all the things. We see that they have a very beautiful house. Probably it costs a lot. It costs a fortune. Nice furniture. Everything is wonderfully decorated and clean. Children are very well bred. So everything is great. She's doing a great job as a mom and as a wife. Although we don't know, maybe she's too busy at work, and maybe it is him who maybe does something at home. But what I think went wrong also, they lacked communication. So number one, he didn't earn money, so he changed job all the times. He wasn't responsible enough to stick to the same thing and maybe to overcome some difficulties at work. Number two, they didn't communicate much because she was always at work. And number three, children loved him more than her, and I think she was jealous.
Okay, let's stop here. The other Luda, why do you think children loved him more? I mean, it's sort of like a little bit subjective, but I think it's true.
I think he was a playmate for them. He was a playmate.
Luda,
Then another Luda, we have another one. Okay, could you, this is Luda, I see.
I think children love father more than mother. Maybe because father plays with them. father does a birthday day for son. Very crazy in my mind. Mother never does this
Mhm,
birthday.
mhm.
I think mother м, заставлять make
Makes or
uh,
made. Mhm,
my,
Сейчас я-
my children do lessons, do housework, something. And
And how did this change after Daniel became Mrs. Doubtfire?
he begins doing housework. I think before that he didn't do it.
Mhm, mhm. Okay. Any other ideas from anybody about the divorce? What led to the
Um,
divorce? Anything like that?
Yes, I would like to add. I believe they have different expectations of a partner in a family. Once I read about a family where a woman was a business. She was a businesswoman, and he took care of their kids and the house. And they both found it very comfortable. Of so I believe sometimes if woman doesn't mind and want to play a male's part, then I'm sorry, but that was a real story. But in this very comedy, I think that woman expected a man to be different, to play a different role, to be serious, to be reliable, to earn more than she, and that's why she just разочаровалась.
Got disappointed in him, right?
She got disappointed, and vice versa. Maybe if he had a different, they were like a mother and a son. Maybe another version could be if his wife were more легче относилась к вещам, maybe
Take something less seriously, yeah? Mhm.
yes, took everything less serious and didn't demand that very beautiful house and so on. Maybe they had better contact with each other. So I think expectations and values of these people were very different.
Mhm. Okay. Thank you. Anybody, anything to add? If not, then we'll move on.
I want to add, I noticed two interesting moments in this film. First of all, in the beginning of film, each of them spent not a lot of time each other. He, as the father, spent a lot of time with his daughters and son, but she spent a lot of time on a work, and lack of conversation maybe cause their divorce,
Cause the
but
divorce. Mhm.
cause the divorce. And after that, when he transformed in Mrs. Doubtfire, and them have a time to spend it together when they make a tea, have a conversation in the kitchen. He can understood her and can changing himself. It's first, and second, for me, it was interesting that he tried to be with his children as not as father on level father, but like human and human, two person, he person, and he explained it with in cinema factory to founder of new shows for children, that you see that this person try to about dinosaurs, try to not
Lecture them, yes, instead of
lecture
lecturing.
them, but you have to try to make a conversation with children like a person like you
Equals.
on
Like
your
equals.
level, not as your parents, but and they are children. So he used rules in his grow his children, and it works because children like him, not because he spent a lot of time with them, because he tried to относиться to
Treat them like equals. Treat them, относиться к ним
treat
как к равным.
yes, treat them like equals.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Very good.
And I noticed, I paid attention also to one scene. So when children were attending him after they had separated, so he had moved out, and the children were attending him and eating all the stuff, fast food in boxes on the table. So he said, I don't remember exactly the words he said, but he said something bad, some bad comments about mom. And then this little girl said, "Daddy, do you want mommy to have this diarrhea?" and things like that. So it shows that he wasn't. So he didn't always behave in a very good way. So he could make some not very good comments about their mom in their presence, and it wasn't so good.
Sorry, I don't agree with you, because he, as a man, you see, yes, he said these bad things when she came early, and he have a time with her, with his
He was upset about that.
children, and he was upset because he have only one Saturday, a few hours, and she came early, so he have negative emotions and said bad things. But
So
I think that it's not because he is a bad man, because this situation is
So
upsetting him.
I see. So I didn't mean exactly this moment. It was a bit earlier, like 2 minutes before she came. So they were sitting, having some conversation at the table, and he made some comments about their mom. And the little one even didn't explain. I don't remember exactly the words.
Okay.
So
Let
I
me stop you
see
here
you
because
don't like this man. I see.
both of them made some bad comments about their partner, both of them. I remember these specific places, so it's totally understandable because they are both upset with each other. Alessia, I think you had something to say. I think you were interrupted or something like that. Am I right?
I think that Miranda and Daniel live like absolutely different worlds. Miranda and Money, she take care of family, and Daniel only enjoy the life with their children, and they left a connection with each other, and when Daniel was a Mrs. Doubtfire, he discovered for himself absolutely unknown things for them. When Miranda said that she was crying when her husband slept, I think that Daniel didn't help her before because he had a real problem with cooking, with cleaning, and when he transformed with Mrs. Doubtfire and had a conversation with his wife, he started to understand what is happening in his
What was wrong? Yeah, so basically, again, lack of communication, недостаток спілкування. Yes, they didn't realize a lot of things about each other. Okay, let's move on to the next question. Hopefully it will be very brief. Does this movie have a happy ending, in your opinion, or was it an unhappy ending?
Happy.
Yes,
Happy.
Okay.
it is happy. I personally survived the divorce, and that's why I can say this is the wisest message, maybe. And this is my favorite
Part of the movie.
scene, part of the movie. This is the end when the main actor said these words that no matter if you have this connection, no matter if your parents are divorced, but you have this connection, and that's why you have this family. I think this is very wise, and maybe it can help even parents and people and kids to survive some unpleasant things, you know.
Thank you. Great.
Okay. I absolutely agree. So I absolutely agree with Natasha that the ending is positive, and no matter whether they are together at this moment or not, they are still a family. And this Mrs. Doubtfire explains that during this TV show. So this Mrs. Doubtfire says. So sometimes parents get divorced, sometimes so they argue and they separate, and then sometimes they come together, sometimes they don't. So I think Mrs. Doubtfire leaves for us to decide and to choose whether we want a happy ending or an unhappy ending. So it's up to the person, up to the audience, up to the viewer to decide. So for somebody, it will be soothing to think that they will never come back together, maybe for some people who got divorced. For some people who managed to overcome their conflict in the family and come together, it will also be a good thing. So you can think what you want, I mean, everyone, but I believe that they got together. So later, they just needed some time.
I believe in it too, and I noticed how she look at him. I think that she have a doubt about divorce, and she thought about make family together. So in my imagine, I think that they have a big, strong family.
Yeah, and remember that moment when she suggested a divorce. He says, "But we love each other, don't we? We love each other." She didn't say no. We don't love each other. She just said, "I want a divorce." I think she loves him.
It started.
Yeah, at the start. I mean, deep in the heart, they love each other. They're dear to each other, because so we can just see it by their faces. Yes. And if people love each other, they should be together, especially if they have kids.
Okay, thank you. The other Luda and Alessia, what do you think?
I think it's a good ending because all with these people got everything they want in this moment. Daniel got excellent job and ability to meet with his children every day. Miranda have got helping, and she don't spend money for housekeeper because the husband helped her. Children
have their parents
also happy because they can spend time with father every day, and for them it's very nice, and everything okay for them of this people. And about meetings, if Miranda and Daniel will be together. Maybe yes, because in the start of the film, Miranda was really exhausted. and they needed help. She said, Mrs. Doubtfire, that before Daniel was a really nice person. They spent time together, excellent. But from the next years, when he was into work and he was into children enjoying their life, they lose a connection. But now this find a common language, and maybe they will be together again.
Okay, okay. I don't think so, but okay, it's possible. Luda, what do you think?
I agree with Olesya, and besides family, Daniel found a new job, and he's happy. I think he likes new job. Before that, he often changes works,
Jobs.
jobs, and maybe this is it is two problems.
It was the reason, one of the reasons. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was asking about the ending because I watched the video about 10 facts about Mrs. Doubtfire, and they said that this film had a different ending. They hired a person who created a happy ending where they got together. But it was so unrealistic that they changed their mind and got back to, to this variant, to this option that we have seen. So that's why I was a little bit interested in what you think. Was it a happy ending or not? Because for me, it sounded like a happy ending. Everybody got what they wanted.
I think
Yeah.
that if because when they manage and create this film, and every film, you can choose how film will end, and if you make happy end, it's everybody can say, oh, it's a happy end, it's like in film. But when you have an open question, when everybody can imagine how this film can last after this end without point, without everything okay, or everything bad. So everybody can make it in their mind and hope that it will be okay or it will be not okay, because all of us are realistic.
Okay, thank you. Good
Okay.
point.
Oh, I really liked Luda's point about his job. Yes. So it's a happy ending because he got a rewarding job. So he is doing now something which is important for him. So in the past he had to do something just for a living. He had maybe to say to voice those silly movies with a lot of violence, which he didn't enjoy much. But now that he plays this Mrs. Doubtfire, he can speak to children and tell them what's good in life. So just he can share his life experience with the younger generation. So it's really rewarding and a great pleasure for him. So because he is not the kind of person who will work for money, he needs to do it from his heart.
Yeah, that's true. He's the kind of person who can quit his job if it doesn't
Yes.
express values. Yes, and for him it's
Yes.
important. Yeah, so it's a happy ending also because of that. Okay, next question. Well, I asked that we can do it quickly if you don't know any other movies that resemble you, Mrs. Doubtfire. or
I
remind-
know.
See,
My
Tutsi.
husband at once said that it looks like At Home Alone.
Tutsi
Okay.
and Tutsi.
Yes,
Tutsi.
I was thinking of Tootsie actually. It's the first movie
I
that popped
haven't seen
into my
Tootsie, I
head.
don't know.
It's
I mean, it's an
a
old
really
movie.
old movie.
I mean, not old. I mean, it's about my age. Not that old.
Okay, I'm sorry about
I'm
age,
your
everybody.
age.
I think
I'm joking.
I try to explain that it's a movie
Not recent.
from yes,
Yeah,
not
and
about
actually,
age.
I'm
Sorry.
joking. It's also a movie about cross-dressing, about a man, having to wear women's clothes to get a job. And it's also funny, and it has Dustin Hoffman starring in it. You remember Dustin Hoffman? I don't know if you like it or not, but it's quite
I
entertaining.
don't remember.
Uh, and some critics say that Tootsie is actually even funnier or better than Mrs. Doubtfire. For me, Mrs. Doubtfire is better, but it's everybody's choice. So if you want, you can have a look at that one. Why Home Alone, by the way? Why did you think of that? Luda disappeared. One of the Ludas. You girls, do you have any, films that resemble this film or make you think of this film? No?
Maybe a new film, Father Dan in Russian film.
I haven't seen.
But he wasn't father children. He was boyfriend their mother, and he tried to communication with children, and a little bit similar film, but similar film I don't know.
Okay, not a problem. So next question, what is your favorite moment in the film? And why? Why is it your favorite?
I remember a moment of this film when he have a extraordinary situation. When he cooked first time like Mrs. Doubtfire, he have a fire on her, I don't know.
On his breast.
Yes. And when they go to
Bathroom.
bathroom with this new guy for and he buy drinks and go to not bathroom, бассейн.
The pool.
Pool. And
pool party.
yes, and Mrs. Doubtfire put something in her head and
threw a lemon at his head.
and tried to explain it. It was really fun how she tried to explain it. And many other curious situations with Mrs. Doubtfire and how she tried to explain something. It was really fun when you watched it in English with this intonation of name of this actor. I forgot.
Robbie Williams.
Yes, Robbie Williams. It's brilliant moment.
Yes, thank you. My favorite moment was with the cream cake with the cream. When her face fell off, and then the social worker barges into the kitchen, and she, puts your face in the. It's silly, but it's so hilarious. I laugh all the time.
I laughed all night, and this moment I laughed really loud, and everybody slept, and I really laughed a lot. It was interesting night.
Yeah, thank you. Anybody else sharing your best moments, favorite moments?
Okay, my favorite place. Okay, sorry, Alessia.
All the good moments connect with exchanging when Daniel and Mrs. Doubtfire, when man and woman. For example, when Mrs. Doubtfire came to the bus and driver saw black. And he said, "Oh, I like natural
hair." Yeah. Yeah, that was funny. By the way, that reminded me about I don't remember the name of the movie with Marilyn Monroe.
Джази только девушки, да?
Yes, when like I don't care that you're a man or something like that. So it sounded like that a bit. Luda, what? I mean, the other Luda. What about you?
Okay. So I like the beginning. At the beginning of the film, this Figaro, and then voicing the cartoon. So he was making up voices in a really just in a great way.
Yeah, very
So I
natural.
liked it. It was funny.
Voices, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I read it that it's something from life of Robbie Williams because he make voices too in real life, and he tried. I watched. I read it interesting sentences that for Robbie Williams, one voice and one role is so less, and when he made a voice of Aladdin, first cartoon about Aladdin, and he make different voices and different roles of one. One role is Aladdin. It was brilliant, and Robbie Williams have some nominated and of this for this movie. And this history about how he can make voices. I think that it's from his life, real life.
Yeah. Okay.
So in this role, he managed to show all his talent. So he could totally change, even from a man to a woman, and from a little mouse or whatever, from a little bird into a cat. Yeah. So
and I remember how the phone interviews, job interviews came, like one person and then a different person. I mean, for Miranda, when she was listening, they were totally different people. For us, of course, we knew that it was the same one, but she probably was like, oh my God, who are these totally crazy women nannies? Yeah. Okay, let's have a look at, if you watch this movie in English, did you come across any interesting, curious phrases or something cool?
I noticed, but I forgot. I'm sorry.
Okay, I mean, it happens.
I watched it and I think that it's really brilliant idea and really interesting phrases, but I don't fix it and I don't remember at this moment.
Okay, if you don't mind, I can share again quickly my screen and show you what I have.
Sorry. I remember one moment when Mrs. Doubtfire have first their own time with children. Lydia try to not do that Mrs. Doubtfire want from her, and she switch on television, but Mrs. Doubtfire off and try, and after that Mrs. Doubtfire put this I don't know
remote control.
remote control to see, and said that one, and this after that you can see CNN, but not see like CNN, but see like CE8 more
like,
CNN like more.
Actually, she said like deep CNN, a глубокий CNN. It sounds really cool in English. Deep CNN. Okay, let's have a quick look, because it's almost the end. Do you see my screen? Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So just a couple of quotes from the movie. Let's say this middle one. Dear Miranda, wake up and smell the coffee. Can't you see the lust in that man's eyes? This is what was like their intimate conversation about stew. And of course, Daniel didn't want her to go on a date with him. So do you know the word lust?
Yeah.
Who can translate the word lust into Ukrainian or Russian?
So it's a sexual desire.
That's right. So she was like, проснись, Миранда, ты что не видишь? Как это? Не страсть,
So
желание в его глазах, something like that. So it's funny. And also this scene that Igor mentioned about the fire on his breasts, or on her breasts. So look at this, my first day as a woman, and I'm getting hot flashes. Hot flashes, it's, yeah, usually it's like older women get hot flashes, вот эти, как они, приливы, да?
Menopausal, menopausal women.
Приливы, or something like that. Then there are these, the reasons for their divorce, at least how Miranda said that. Daniel, please don't joke. We are far apart. We are different. We have nothing in common. Like 3 different phrases mean the same kind of thing. Far apart, далеко друг от друга, мы разные, we are different, and we have nothing in common. У нас ничего общего. So just different ways of expressing the same idea. I think it sounds cool in English. Also, the green one. What a lovely home you have. Did you decorate this yourself? Yes, I did. Oh, it reeks of taste. The word reeks actually like it has a negative connotation. То есть от него несет вкусом.
Воняет, да?
Вкусом сделано, от него несет вкусом, or something like that. Then this one. I just want to know one thing. Are your kids well behaved, or do they need like a few light slams every now and then? Их нужно иногда шлепать. So, and this phrase, I'll have to get back to you on that. It's pretty commonly used in phone conversations. Я с вами еще свяжусь, да, то есть, чтобы не говорить, вы мне не подходите. Just like this phrase is sort of like, я с вами еще свяжусь. I'll have to get back to you on that. And the last one, ma'am, this is the cop. Do you remember the birthday party with a lot of like goats and geese and donkeys, etc.? So the cop was saying to Miranda, ma'am, are you aware that it's against the law to possess animals of a barnyard nature in a residential area? And Miranda jokes, what if you're married to one? Вы знаете, что это невозможно владеть такими животными, как это?
Копытными
животными, да, в этой местности. А что если я жената на таком или замужем за таким? So it's like joke on joke on joke. That's what makes it funny. So I'm going to stop sharing. Have I stopped sharing?
No, you haven't.
Okay, it should be over now.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think it was a pretty cool discussion. At least I enjoyed it very, very much. Yeah. What do you guys think? Did you like it?
Yeah, it was great.
Okay, I'm glad to hear that.
Thank you so
much. I do hope that next next time when we meet, hopefully it will be in 2 weeks. In 2 weeks, I think it will be March, somewhere around 8th of March or 11th of March. I don't remember exactly the date. It will be Saturday again. Let me have a look.
13 maybe.
The 13th of March, yes. After, so that's good. I have a suggestion about the movie. I have an idea. I hope you will like this movie. If you maybe you have seen it already. The movie is called Hidden Figures. Have you seen it? In Ukrainian it sounds приховані фігури.
No,
It's pretty recent. I mean, the first one and the second movie we've seen and we've discussed, they were pretty sort of oldish. I mean, Igor was right. I mean, they are not very recent. But this one was made like a couple of years ago. It's much more recent. And it's pretty interesting from the point of view of historical accuracy. Наскільки він точно історично передає. So you can read up a little bit if you want to. I mean, it's based on true facts. How true it is, it's of course debatable. But I think it would be interesting for the general knowledge, but it's also a great movie. It has quite a high ranking, so I think you might enjoy it. You can watch it in Russian, in Ukrainian, or in English, but of course the discussion, as always, will be in English. I'm not ready to send you the questions yet, because I have to see it again and prepare the questions, but I will definitely send you the questions at least a week before the discussion, so don't worry about that. So you can start watching it this week, you can watch it next weekend, and then in 2 weeks we meet again, hopefully you will show up again, because it was really great to see you here and hear your opinions. come and we'll talk about it. Okay?
Okay, yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you so much,
so much
everybody.
for spending this morning with me. Have a nice Saturday and see you in 2 weeks. Or maybe
Thank you for
Bye.
inspiring morning.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.